first Flight Time Radio YouTube video.
That's a fact. And I'm Milford. This is Charlie.
I don't know who you just insulted, me or you.
What do you mean? You going with Milford today? Okay. Okay, he's
Milford.
Milford. I'll be Charlie.
I'll be Ernest if you're other. No, that's no Benny Hill. Anyway, we thought we'd start off with, we talk about Charlie's J-3 Cub project all the time. So we thought we'd start off with give you a little tour of his, this is his shop behind his house. We give you a little tour of the Cub, what he's doing. Tell you what, if you bring the camera this way.
Yeah, that way.
Let's show you how this airplane started off. This is what you got, right, Charlie?
This is it. Set of plans.
Piece of paper you're gonna make an airplane out of. Now, when I make an airplane out of paper, I start off.
You fold this
like
corner. There we go. But you get these plans. This is what they look like, and you build it piece by piece.
Now, you didn't order
part
pieces.
By part.
You had to build the parts.
Parts is parts, yeah, for the most part.
For the most part.
There are some that I bought sneakily,
sure.
But there are the plans. Every part in the airplane, just about.
And how they interlock with each other. I hope they stay locked.
Where they go, what they do, and how you do it. Underneath it are some supplemental plans that I bought from other places because I wasn't smart enough to figure it out on my own. But there's the Army version of it. This airplane was used in World War II as a flight trainer, and before World War II as a flight trainer. So I figure if they could fly it back then.
It's also being used in 2010 as flight trainers too. Quite a few places. A lot of people still learning how to fly in a J-3 Cub.
And there's still companies trying to imitate it and build brand factory new ones of basically the same airplane.
Right.
That's
Obviously, it's a great design. Been around forever and it shows no sign of letting up. Like Charlie said, there's at least two major companies that build a version of the J-3 Cub. Of course, now they're using all kind of carbon fibers and everything else to make it a little lighter. They're putting massive engines on the front. This thing started off with 65 horsepower as the first.
40.
40, excuse me, I didn't know that.
And the production had 65 horsepower.
So basically, they had a model engine on the front to start with.
Yeah.
And did well, that's right. And as it's progressed, it's gotten, everybody always wants more power,
well, I did too.
Yeah, everybody does.
Instead of 65, I've got 100 horsepower.
Let's show them what you're going to put on the nose of this.
We can look back to the to the engine.
Another classic, not only the airplane classic, it's a classic engine. Continental 200.
4 cylinders.
4 cylinders. If you need them or not, it has 4 cylinders. These are, they call these the eyebrows, right?
That's correct. These are eyebrows on the engine. They scoop up the air to cool it.
So basically, on the nose of the engine, the outside of these engines is going to be exposed, but even that wouldn't make sure the cooling is good enough. So you have these little scoops to make them go across the fins to cool the engine. Air-cooled engine, obviously. Charlie's not going to use a prop quite this big. Won't need one quite this big.
That's a fact. I got that on there and haven't got it running yet, but what can I do?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, we'll walk around and
all right.
We'll come this side. We'll talk since we can see inside the fuselage. You can show some of the things you're doing that's a little bit different. You want to let the camera go past us, maybe? All right. Tell us about some of these. Now, did Mr. Пайпер invent this aircraft with that?
That up there is a video camera, and being a ham radio operator, it will actually be broadcasting video images from that point, looking forward while I'm flying. So anybody can tune in with their television.
So hopefully somewhere down the road we'll have a YouTube video of Charlie taking one of his flights.
Yeah,
maybe even his first flight.
There we go.
We'll have evidence.
But you saw the fabric on the other side. This is what it looks like without the fabric. This is all chromoly steel tubing for the most part, and it's welded together and makes basically it's like a radio tower structure. The triangle is very strong structure instead of square, which can collapse, so everything is triangulated, even the corners, to keep the thing from collapsing to the sides.
In other words, when it was pieces were made, the ends of the individual strut was cut as a triangle, then all welded together.
It fish-mouthed around the tubes and fits in, and so these do not require gussets. Wood would require a gusset, but these don't.
Some of the things on aircraft construction, you notice where he's got these stringers, wooden stringers, to help give the shape to the fabric. you'll notice that there's tape around the metal bar. And the reason that is because while the engine, the aircraft's moving and rubbing, it could actually end up wearing through the metal tubing, and that would be a bad thing.
That's correct. This is only wire, like a tie wrap, going through this piece of wood and around the tubing to hold that piece of wood in place. Now once this fabric is on here and tight, it holds it in place quite well, but it can still move and vibrate, and that wire could actually cut into the tubing. So we put something there to protect the tubing. These other wires and cables you see are to operate the controls on the back of the airplane. This is an elevator cable. This is the other elevator cable. I'm sorry, those are the rudder cables. These are the elevator cables. Come from the control stick.
Yeah, trim circs.
The smaller cable is for the trim system, which makes it where you can make the airplane where you don't have to hold the control stick all the time. Right. Take a nap, whatever you want to do. That's what the different cables are for. Milford just had his hand on a little silver cylinder, which did not come in the original Cubs. Being a ham radio operator, this is a little bit different than the video camera. This one right here transmits a signal that tells your position, your speed, your altitude, your direction, right where you're at. And someone can pull up a web page and see you and watch you flying around on the web page, like a little radar.
And if he's in a J-3 Cub, you have to have a lot of time to watch him fly around.
That's for sure. The thing doesn't fly very fast. In fact, there was one time I was flying with a friend of mine, and we were passed by a Greyhound bus. So, but they've lowered the speed limit now, and it doesn't happen as often. But this is you're looking at actually years of building time, far longer than it takes most people. But I've done it as I did my job, raised my family, and it's just a part-time hobby thing.
Well, point out also, this is Charlie's #2 aircraft.
Other one was plastic.
Right.
Not the one you buy at the store, but it was designed by Burt Rutan. It's called a Long Easy, and was made out of fiberglass and styrofoam. Very, very strong, and it's Burt Rutan's gone on to build spaceships and military aircraft. It's a very strong construction, even commercial and business jets.